Okay, hey guys, so this week I kind of wanted to talk about figuring out your college major because in the next couple of quarters I'm going to be declaring my majors, and I know a lot of you are kind of like, oh god, how the hell am I going to even figure out what I want to do with the rest of my life, when you go to college. And honestly, the biggest piece of advice I can give you is just to take a whole bunch of random classes. Even if you feel like, oh, well, I can go to a specialized college for whatever I want to do, I'd recommend going to a college where, you have to take gen ed credits. And I realize it might be kind of a hassle, but going and seeing what else there is a really great thing because I originally came here with the intent of focusing on trying to be a theater production and design BFA major, and now that's changed to a theater BA and then a major in anthropology. That's really just kind of changed a lot, and it's mostly because of the classes I took. I was interested in the specialized route, or I still kind of am, but I really wanted to take a second major with my theater one, and for a long time I was originally going between film and anthropology, but I recently decided, I'm gonna stick with anthropology. I really like the coursework, and just it would help offset my having a Bachelor of Arts. I'd have a Bachelor of Science, and it was just kind of something that I felt passionate about, that I'd be interested in, and it's I wouldn't have figured that out if I hadn't taken all these classes, and I think that's super helpful, just kind of being, open to the idea of just that there's more than one thing you can do. You can do a double major or major and a minor or two, depending on how many credits you're allowed to take before you have to graduate. But yeah, just taking a whole bunch of classes has really helped, and just kind of figuring out the route that I want to go. And I know it's helpful to a lot of other people that are just kind of well, I'm kind of thinking about this, but I don't know, it could be that, and obviously also take into consideration what you're passionate about, but definitely take classes in it, because you might be passionate about it, but it's just kind of college is kind of preparing you for the workforce. So it's if you really don't like what you're having to do or what you're having to learn, then chances are you might not like it for a job, so it's definitely something to keep in consideration. It's something that you're passionate about, but also something that you find interesting, because if you're not interested in it and you're kind of slacking off, then it's obviously not a good sign. Definitely something to take in consideration, and also consider how much schooling you're gonna have to go into for this subject. With both of my degrees, I'm fine just going and getting a bachelor's. 4 years is really all I'm going to have to do. But obviously if you're doing pre-med or something, you're gonna have to go into graduate school, and so you have to think, am I really willing to go through that much schooling for this, or do I really want to just get into the work field as soon as I possibly can, so it's that's definitely a really important thing, because it's you don't want to be 4 years down the road and just thinking, dear God, I don't want to do this anymore, so definitely take a huge variety of classes. And for me, since I love what I'm doing so much, I'm probably going to end up going to more schooling for anthropology, and I feel that says a lot, just the fact that I'm wanting to go to more school for it, that I'm willing to. So it's if you're willing to do more schooling for whatever you're doing, then go for it, and just, it's obviously good to experiment, and just because next quarter I'm not going to be taking any theater classes, I'm going to be taking pretty much all just gen eds, but I'm also taking a lab that's required for the anthropology major, so it's kind of getting more of a feel of what's out there, It's more than likely I'm not going to be changing my mind, but just to know that there's these options out there for me to take. And yeah, you know, so it's like, it's obviously good to have like a general direction of like where you're going, so you can pick the school that's best suited for it, you know, because that's how I came here to Central, was just the theater program. And I really wouldn't recommend going to a specialized school until you are like dead set in whatever you're doing, you know, because like if I ended up going to Cornish in Seattle, which is basically just like strictly like theater stuff, you know, like they're a private institution. I obviously would not be where I am with like the double major and everything, you know, and yeah, so I mean, that's basically my advice. Yeah, and I hope you guys found it kind of useful. You know, those are just kind of like some basic things to take into consideration, I feel like. That is pretty much it for this week, and I will see you guys next week with another main channel video.